opportunity for Charlotte off the set piece. It is going to be the man out of Poland. The shot! Yes!
And it's gone in! It's an Olympico! Yoshiki pulls it back, the shot, and another goal!
And look who's coming on. Brian Romero. Here's Romero. Take the shot, kid!
Goal!
For the city, for the crown!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Offsides Podcast, the unofficial official podcast of Charlotte Football Club. I am your host, Andres Robledo, and as always, I'm joined by the number one Bronico hater, Pablo Robledo. Pablo, how's it going?
Hey.
Got the issue an official apology a bit later in the episode, that's for sure.
What are you talking about?
For Bronico.
I never apologize.
You're a doubter, and he
If
shoved
anything,
it in your face.
that should fuel him.
Spite is a powerful motivator.
Yeah.
So, big episode today. Finally, another win to celebrate. It's been, I think I saw something where it was almost 80 days without a win. Last win was against LA Galaxy back in May. So it's been a while. But we finally did it. Beat Necaxa at home. Very good team performance that we're going to break down later on in the episode. But, you know, going to be an episode full of positives. Full of positivity.
And some negative from my side.
Keeps it balanced. But let's jump into some of the news. So MLS highlights are all messy right now, even on the Apple TV. They are advertising the MLS Season Pass as, hey, you want to watch Messi? Subscribe here. Not even, do you want to watch MLS or do you want to watch Miami? It's just, do you want to watch Messi? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that pretty much sets the pace for just the Miami fan base, I would say. Just like scrolling through Instagram and stuff, like all the MLS post is just Messi. And I mean, he's got 3 goals now?
Yep.
And he's played
and
3
assist.
matches.
2
and
matches.
An assist. Yeah. Oh, is it?
I think it's only 2
right,
matches.
he had the brace with Atlanta or against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which, again, you know, it's rightfully earned. He's definitely like 2 tiers above everybody else out there in Miami or just MLS overall. But I'm kind of shocked that like people are hyping it up as much as it has been, because it's like, I mean, what else did you expect the guy to do? Like, that's why you brought him over to score goals. His first goal was very iconic.
Oh yeah, I mean that's gonna be in all the like marketing highlights for years to come. That's probably the most famous Miami goal ever now.
Yeah.
It is a bit weird that it's in the Leagues Cup and it's not really MLS yet. Some of that stuff has gotten kind of mixed up. Like I saw some people thinking or posting like he's gotten 3 goals in 2 games. Is he gonna break the or is he gonna catch like the leading goal scoring record for this season and finish MLS as the top scorer? And it's like, well, he hasn't played an MLS match yet officially, and there's only like 12 left. So, I mean, if anyone can do it, it'd be him, but I think it's kind of a tall task.
Right, yeah. I've even heard rumors of Ballon d'Or already. I'm like, it's so early.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll probably get that just for winning the World Cup.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just like harder to find other highlights that weren't basically just Messi.
Yeah, especially on Apple TV. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think people are going to get burned out on it, or?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, he does bring a lot more eyes to not only the sport, but just MLS overall. So
yeah,
I'm sure they'll find ways to hype it up even more.
Yeah, especially if he keeps putting in like highlight worthy goals and stuff like that, and if he brings in all his old Barcelona buddies, it's just going to add to it.
Yeah, I've even seen posts. I want to say like on TikTok where it's like, Messi might not play his next game against Charlotte. I was like, because of the whole turf thing.
Yeah.
So like even that's already circulated in the news. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing else to talk about. Which here we are talking about him.
Yeah, well, he brings clicks. Yeah, I
Bring on
mean,
the clicks.
I'm excited to see what he does with Miami. I mean, the rest of the League's Cup for sure, but definitely like I said, I think there's only like 12 games left in the regular season, so let's see what they can do. And I mean, if they claw up to 9th place and make playoffs, that alone is quite a feat. But we'll see. That seems like a tall task.
Yeah, I think you're right. If anything, I would say their main focus is Open Cup because they're so close to it. I think they're in the semifinals right now, and either semifinals or quarterfinals. I can't remember, but they're very close to it. And then, of course, this tournament. They're on to play Orlando. I want to say Wednesday.
Yep.
And then Charlotte plays Thursday.
Yep. Yeah, that should be an easy win for them.
Orlando? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. How did we
beat Orlando
won.
away. We haven't played them
Right.
at home yet. Yeah, 2-0.
Okay. I thought we did. I can't remember.
Yeah, we did. We sure
Okay.
did.
Yeah. But I agree. I think Miami should overtake Orlando.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, did you see the post of all the Miami fans leaving after Messi was subbed off?
Yeah, I did see that. That kind of stinks for like the rest of the players and stuff, and I think it's kind of weird to spend that much money and then just leave just because one guy gets subbed off. Like, why not just finish the match out? But,
Yeah. Well, I guess those are the guys, that are paying $500, $600, $700 a ticket.
yeah, more power to them if they feel like they got their money's worth and you leave early.
Yeah. They should do like a double sub for him.
Yeah.
It's like, coming back. Then everybody rushes back.
That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, that does kind of I don't know. It is weird. Like I wouldn't like that myself. Like even if you're a new Miami fan, like just stick around and support them. And I mean, it's like it was a big win. Like beating Atlanta, they're I think 5th in the conference right now. So that's like kind of good. Yeah, that's good omens for once the season comes back, and you just advanced into a knockout stage of a tournament that people probably thought you weren't gonna make out of the group stage before you signed Messi. So I don't know, why not like celebrate all that stuff? But
yeah,
to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. We'll just see how the fan base is after he's gone.
Yeah,
Hopefully, like, sticks around, but not looking like it.
yeah, I don't think so either. That's why we've mentioned before, like MLS need to take this opportunity of getting all these new eyes on and really leverage it into making them like permanent fans. And like we've mentioned before, you either do that by like increasing the quality of product on the field by letting teams spend more and bring in other like more talented players, or you figure out a way to make it like more entertaining as well, like maybe implementing this PK thing after ties for regular season games. I think reducing like number of playoff teams would be good. Kind of gives you more to play for. Or it just makes it like more. I guess it makes each game a bit more critical, right? If it was like maybe top 6 in the conference instead of 9, I think things get a lot more competitive that way. So I don't know. I think MLS has a couple of different avenues they can go about, and hopefully they, don't mess it up.
Is that how it used to be last season? Was it top 6 or top 7, something like that? And then they added 2 new slots.
Was it top 7 or was it top 8? What did we finish last season? Because we finished 1 spot out of it.
I mean, I could tell you, but I'll have to look it up. But I know they added to it, and we were pretty excited about that. Just a change that was coming.
Yeah.
So for them to take it away, I don't know. I agree with the PK things. I think that would make it better to the point where like maybe even other leagues start adopting that.
Yeah. It was top 8 last season because we finished 9th.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure we only finished 1 out. So yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, I just think like even top 8 seems like kind of a lot. Like it's not even top half. Like it's more than the top half because there's 15 teams in each conference. Well, I guess 14 in the West.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's 15 in the East, so it's like you don't even have to be the top half. Like you just have to be like the top 75%. Like I don't know. I feel like it's not that hard of a line to cross.
It just kind of gets you into the playoffs, and even then, there's no guarantee. Most likely, you'll get knocked out.
Yeah, because
that's what kind of makes it fun is because like MLS seems to be just so even. For the most part, evenly matched for teams, and I want to say it's mostly due to like cap regulations and things like that, where it can't, one team can truly beat another. Like the bottom tier can beat the top. Like you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I do think they took a little bit out of that with this whole 9th and 8th place play like a best of 3 thing. I think then you take a little bit of that like surprise out of it. But yeah, I agree. Like the teams are like pretty evenly when it comes to match day. Like maybe on paper teams aren't that even. Like if you compare, Toronto to Cincinnati, like on paper they don't seem that even. Just based, Cincinnati's in first in the East and Toronto's 14th. But like, I don't know how they did when they've played this season, but I guarantee like it was probably close, or it can be close if they play. I mean, even some of our wins have been that way, right? Like games we didn't think we were gonna win or thought we would get dominated, and we've gone on to win them. So
yeah,
anything can kind of happen.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to cover on the Leagues Cup there? I know we're in the knockouts round now, so
yeah. The last thing I was gonna say was it does seem like MLS is gonna move to that approach of like letting teams spend more. It came out earlier this past week that during a meeting with like the owners and I guess board of directors or whatever for MLS, that even David Tepper was saying like, hey, we need to loosen up some of these roster rules so that we can actually like spend more money on the team and spend more on players and whatnot. So I think if a lot of owners are feeling that way and like are wanting to have the initiative and like the incentive to do so, then hopefully MLS listens and loosens some of those cap rules up. And the owners that want to spend money, let them spend money, and the ones that don't, like, they will start falling behind. And those fan bases, hopefully they get like vocal and put some pressure on the ownership groups, and I think that can definitely be like the next step in MLS's quality.
Yeah, I think so. Going into the knockout round, and I'll just kind of keep it in, I guess, the Charlotte tree branch. If everything goes in some sort of like sweet magical way, we could end up facing Dallas again later on. Mazatlan faces Dallas, and then Miami faces Orlando. If Dallas moves on, and either Miami or Orlando, and then Dallas could beat them, and we make it that far, there's a chance that we could be playing them again.
Yeah.
How high of a chance, I don't know.
Yeah.
Miami's in the mix now.
It'd be in the quarters. I'd rather see Miami in the quarters if we, make it past the couple of teams we have to make it past.
Right. Yeah, we play Cruz Azul next. And then Pachuca and Houston play. Kind of, who are you rooting for that matchup there?
Oh, Houston. Got to support the
Houston,
Houston boys.
Yeah,
We've got
that's
that
what I was
little
thinking.
partnership there with them, and also too, just like I'm kind of supporting like just any MLS team that plays a Liga MX team. Like I would have liked to see like just a clean sweep, like just beat all the Liga MX teams, and because before like going into this tournament, it was kind of like I feel like the whole consensus was that like the Liga MX teams are going to be better. I mean, even you and I thought that just because the
They're
league
just gonna dominate.
the league seemed to be a bit more competitive and stuff. But I mean, MLS teams are stepping up and like doing work and putting some of these teams away. So I'd like to see that trend going. Just as many MLS teams as can go through.
Agreed. Now there has been some criticism in regards to, all matches are being played in U.S. soil. So even though like this past match, for example, where we played Necaxa at the Bank of America Stadium, technically Necaxa was the home team.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was maybe a handful of Necaxa fans that I saw.
Yeah, same.
So there's been some criticism as far as like it's more favored to MLS players or teams, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
You
know.
see any truth to that?
I think like maybe
Somewhat.
next time what they can do is like maybe select like a region and have all the teams playing there. It's like you could have done like the southwest of the US, and that way you get like the northern part of Mexico, and pick 10 stadiums or whatever, and all the teams just play there. And then next year you can do like the Northeast, right? And it's it's all in the States again, but like all the teams play there, and that way you don't no team has to like travel a bunch back and forth. Just the same way like the World Cup is, like it's in a region, like
Yeah,
maybe
'cause,
do it that way.
Charlotte, we went to Dallas, won there, then we had to travel back to Charlotte. We did what we were supposed to do in Charlotte. Now we got to go back to Dallas to play Cruz Azul, which in that sense, no team there has a home field advantage.
Yeah, the word online is it's going to be more of a Cruz Azul home game than a Charlotte one. Apparently, I guess it's close enough to a lot of Cruz Azul fans that they'll be able to make the trip.
Yeah. I won't be surprised to see a good bit of the Charlotte fans there. They always seem to show up. So, shout out to those guys for always helping at the team on that.
Yeah, and that's a Thursday night game too. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is.
Tough travels.
It's a lot of soccer in a short amount of time for this cup.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And besides that, see, I don't think I have any like super heavy favorites.
Is there any other knockout matches that kind of like stick out to you that you're gonna try to catch?
I probably won't really try to catch any of them, to be honest, but I will be interested in some of the results, like what is it, Wednesday, and the Red Bulls play New York City Football Club. I'd like to see which of those two New Yorkers end up on top. LAFC, obviously, they went straight to the round of 32. Interested to see how far they go. If Lyon wins, this will be the second time this year that they end up playing LAFC. If both those teams advance, it'll be the second time those teams play this year. And last time they played, Lyon beat LAFC, I want to say like at least 2-0.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's just because I just happened to catch it. It was like the only game on, and I was watching it just purely out of curiosity as to see if MLS or Liga MX was going to dominate. Especially LAFC, they're one of the stronger teams for MLS. So I was just like curious how they were going to do, and they got stomped.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of one of the reasons we thought that the Liga MX teams would all kind of do that, but
Yeah.
has not been that way.
Yep, I know. I didn't think we were going to make it out of the group stage, but
Yeah.
we
Ended up
we
first.
had them. Yep, ended up first. Yeah, and then besides that, obviously, just like everybody else, going to be tracking the Miami progress.
Yeah, that game is going to be interesting. Just, they'll play I guess Atlanta was a conference rival, but now they'll play like their actual in-state rival too, or Orlando. So we'll see how that goes. But
Yep.
yeah, I think besides our game and the Miami game, I'll maybe keep an eye out on that Houston game as well and see how well they do.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for those guys.
Yeah, hopefully they win. Moving on to the next bit of news. This is a Charlotte adjacent former Charlotte FC player Adam Armour hurt again out of the season for FC Tulsa with another ACL injury. For those that don't remember, or maybe you didn't know, Adam Armour was on loan to FC Tulsa through the MLS, not through Charlotte. He unfortunately is no longer a Charlotte FC player. But man, another ACL injury. That is brutal, especially for a young professional. I think Adam is only like 20, 21. So the second time you do that stinks, man.
Yeah.
Another season cut
stink.
short.
Yeah, you think that, and I mean, I hate to say it, but another season, another ACL tear, that kind of throws the label on him by then, the dreaded injury-prone label. I was hoping that he was just going to excel over at Tulsa and like some MLS team or maybe even Charlotte would pick him up again, but now with that, it's just going to make it that much harder. And ACL tears, it's at least a year-long recovery, sometimes less, but for the most part.
We've seen with Corujo as well, like how long that can take and how like slippery slope of a comeback it can be. He's dealing with injury again as well, so he's been out. But I feel like ACL injuries aren't what they used to be a couple years ago, but it's definitely still like one of the big ones that you dread to see.
Yep.
Yeah,
because you won't see the player anymore that year.
Not only that, but then like even when they come back, you're just like, oh gosh, like
they're not 100%.
Yeah, like they will never come back to like how they were. Very rarely a player will come back to like the top form that they once were once they get an ACL injury.
Yeah.
So,
that stinks.
Sad
Hopefully
news.
he gets better though. That is kind of stinky.
Yeah. I wonder how that's gonna affect his like MLS, because I don't know how that works, but I guess he's like still owned by the MLS, but no team owns them. So I wonder how that's gonna like affect him next season, if he's gonna be able to get a loan once he's healthy or what. I don't know. It's gonna be tricky, man. So hopefully he bounces back though. He definitely has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all kind of saw that last season. But his minutes kind of dwindled, and eventually he just got traded out. Or was it traded out or just kind of let go?
He just let go. It got waived.
Yeah.
All right, that pretty much covers all the news that we had. Let's jump into the match recap versus Necaxa at home at the Bank of America Stadium. Well, technically we were away, but back in B of A. And what'd you think of the atmosphere of the stadium leading up to the match? How different was it from your typical MLS match?
It wasn't as crowded, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it definitely felt a little bit emptier.
Yeah, it did. I know typically Charlotte averages like 32,000?
Somewhere in there. Yeah, I think that's a fair range. Yeah.
At least the 30s. But this one, you mentioned that day that it was like 29.
It was like 29 and a half, but it did not feel like that.
Yeah, it felt like maybe 28.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just rounding up.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it. We both went to the game, and I think we talked about it while we were there. Of like maybe the weather's an issue, or maybe it's only a majority of it's like season ticket holders and your regular ticket purchasers or like week to week purchasers weren't that interested in like this one off match, or not really interested in the Leagues Cup thing, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Maybe it doesn't seem as enticing to go to as a MLS match, and maybe that's why it was a bit lower. But I mean, 29,500 for the first time we play a Liga MX team in a brand new tournament, like that's not terrible. I mean, there's definitely something to build on there and build the cup up a bit more, like add some more like prestige to it and stuff. So, but it definitely felt like a bit more of a mellow atmosphere.
Yeah,
to begin with, anyways.
It was. Even on the supporter section, it seemed like it wasn't as full. Like usually that section is filled up and overflowing to the sections beside it, but this time it just seemed to be like contained in that one section alone.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, that this was like the one match that I had marked in my calendar since they even mentioned this cup. Like I wanted to see how Charlotte was going to perform against a different league.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience. Something different. It also felt like there was, at least around some of the fans around our section, it felt a little tense of like, high expectations or like really wanting the team to perform. Kind of almost like an angry father figure type thing, like they better not mess this up, or I'm gonna take the belt out and whatnot. It was like people were, they were there for a win. Like they were not going to be happy with anything else. They wanted to see the team play well and get the dub, and thankfully they did that.
Well, I would definitely kind of chalk that up to just Charlotte's, what is it, like 2.5 month performance basically, or like the past 2 months where it's just like nothing but ties.
And one loss.
Even going back to like the Dallas, where we tied them, it was just like, and another thing, and part of it too was just like, I thought Necaxa was gonna beat Dallas, and we were just gonna have like an easy passing through to the knockout rounds. But it's like, no, Dallas went and put a stomping on them, and I was like, oh crap! Like,
I mean, it was definitely still it was definitely still set up in our favor, right? Like all we needed was a tie. It's at Bank of America. All we've been doing is tie-ins. So it was like, all right, well, this can be done. And I think Dallas put 3 or 4 on them, so it was like, well, they're definitely scoreable. Like, we can at least score 1 or 2 on them. So it was like still a little bit. Things were definitely in our favor for the matchup.
Yeah, but I think also the one thing I kept in the back of my head was the average goals that we let in, which is about 2 every match, and I was like, okay, like, and I mean they, Necaxa did in a way get those 2 goals. Luckily, they were disallowed. So after that, I was like, okay, like that's the 2. And we'll just keep going from there. Yeah,
like we said at the game, just don't think of it as a game starting 0-0. Think of it as 0-2.
Yeah, that was. I mean, like we dominated, but it still felt like we could have easily let it go.
I will say, like, I think if those first like 15 minutes don't go the way they did, especially the 2 Necaxa goals being disallowed, I think that game is like totally different, because I feel like, especially after the second goal was disallowed, that team kind of fell apart. They were getting upset over everything, giving up silly fouls, like forcing stuff, started kind of like shooting from far or like crossing from weird positions. Like they started trying to do like more kind of trick plays on set pieces instead of just like putting a ball into the box, which is like how they scored the 2 goals. It's like kind of felt like they fell apart really quickly.
Yeah.
While Charlotte just kind of like slowly but surely took control of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the way that we put goals in was just about how Necaxa put goals in. You know, like you mentioned earlier, just putting guys in the box and sending it in. But I'm not sure what happened to them. I could understand their frustration. Maybe they felt like the ref was going against them. But I'm so glad those goals were disallowed because I feel like our guys would have been just... like morale would have been going out the window, basically.
Oh, I mean, you felt it in the stadium. Like, we got that when Bronico got the early goal. I mean, everyone was excited because it's like it's Brant Bronico, fan favorite, a guy that we've been wanting to step up, and he does, and gets a very good goal. And not only is it a very good goal by him, but it's like a good team setup play, like a lot of passes in and around the box. Raderski with like just a beautiful little cut into the box that finds Bronico, and then Bronico with like a good touch to settle it, and then just to chip it over the keeper. Like that was like a highlight worthy goal. And then like for Necaxa to come back and score like right away, and like we said, it was disallowed, but it was like everyone around us was like, oh no, not this again. Like, of course, like typical Charlotte fashion, like
right,
this is work. And thankfully, like calls just went our way. Both times, like
yeah.
So I think that was definitely a big difference, like in the momentum shift and whatnot.
Yeah. So, but like going back a little bit, like all Charlotte had to do to get through or to get out of the group stage was just bare minimum tie, and even if they lost the PK, they were through. But I mean, they went above and beyond, which kind of brings up my question is, with the lineup that was put out, which was our typical lineup, with the exception of Melanda finally being back, do you think that Charlotte played more aggressive in comparison to like other games that they've played recently, especially against MLS teams, or do you think this was like just a typical Charlotte gameplay?
No, I don't think it. I don't think it was either. Honestly, I don't think it was more aggressive. But I also don't think they have played the way they've been playing this season. I thought like the team passing was way better. Like the build-up play was like more in the other team's half. They were moving the ball like in front of the other team's box a lot better, not forcing crosses, like really good through balls, like playing stuff across the face of goal, like finding players in good position. Like I just thought the build-up play was like way better, and like not so one dimension of like just go out wide and then cross it. The other thing too, I do think you have to take like a little bit of grain of salt in this one, because I think Necaxa finished like third to last season, so they were the bottom three in Liga MX, and they're only a couple games into their season, while we've have played 2/3 of ours. But but in the other part too of the performance was like it felt like everyone was having the best game of the season. Like we talked about Bronico playing very well. Byrne was doing really well.
Melanda came back strong.
Melanda came back looking like last season's Melanda. Serderski was doing well. When your weakest link was
really good. And Jovosinski.
Yeah. Well, Zobozinski didn't play. You mean Yazwiak?
I mean Yazwiak.
Yeah, both those guys were. I mean, the Polish Pistols were locked and loaded, and they were blasting. Gianni DeVito, I just started blasting. But even like Andrew Privet, he gets his second start right in a very like tough position, like that center back / center mid role. I thought he did a great job of like handling those transitions of like when we're attacking, he was like deep in the opposition half, able to like recycle the ball back in, or like stop them from counterattacking. And then when they did get past, like I thought he did a great job of like recovering and getting in like good positions, like to stop counterattacks or like to get in the right positions, which is something like the team has struggled with all season long. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe Latanzio has found his guy for that position.
Maybe.
Anyway, but yeah, it just felt like everyone was playing really well. Like I don't think anyone had a bad game, as opposed to like a lot of times this season we've had, one or two guys playing well, but then like the guys on defense aren't playing very well, or Bronico and Arfield have gone like missing sometimes, or Lindsey has a bad game. Like it hasn't all clicked at all really this season. I can't really think of like a game where I would say like everything clicked all around, but this game felt like just perfect. Like I could not really think of maybe Moran and Byrne had a couple of bad balls the first 10 minutes, but after that, I felt like
so few.
Yeah,
like there was more good passes, and I think going back to Moran, if anybody had some sort of like mediocre game, I would say it would have been him. As far as like leading guys too much or having sometimes a bad touch. But with that, it was like the team was playing, to me, it seemed like they were playing so much better that whenever a guy lost possession, they had just immediate pressure. Like the defense was immediately on him trying to recover the ball, to where our forwards weren't having to track back as much. It's like they lost the ball and they just had to get back on sides basically, and then we were on the attack again. So to me, I feel like the defense overall played a much more heavy pressure attack type of game, whereas like before I've seen them where we like lose balls and they're tracking back way further than they should be, instead of trying to recover or put the pressure on whoever has the ball more. You mentioned the knock-around passing. That was way better this game. No long crosses needed. It was more just short passes, keeping possession, and working our way upwards the field to send in the crosses where we already had 3 or 4 guys in the box. That worked heavily in our favor a lot of the times. So just to me, it felt like because of the defense playing that way, our offense was able to do what they basically been doing all season, was getting 2-3 goals just about every game. Well, not every game, but a majority of them, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they stick with that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see the lineup for Thursday. Like now that Jones is healthy again, and I think he played about 30 minutes. Like, is he going to replace Privet, or is Privet there to stay? Because again, like I thought him and Malanda did really well. So that'll all be interesting to see what happens. But it, like you said, it just felt like everyone was clicking. Like everyone was playing at like a 9 out of 10 game or 10 out of 10 game, which was nice to see. And yeah, like the build up and the attack, like everything was like controlled passes, like just finding people in the good spots and like just finding good 1v1s and stuff. Like just totally what's been missing pretty much all season long, honestly. Yeah,
I got the stats here pulled up on SofaScore, and overall ball possession was 70-30 going Charlotte's way, and then on the passes we had an 85% accuracy, whereas Necaxa was 74%. But total passes we were 3 passes shy of 600, whereas Necaxa was 258.
Yeah.
So we had twice as many passes basically that they might have had. Same with like everything else was just about the same, long balls and crosses, but yeah, the passes and accurate passes is what really stood out, especially this match.
Yeah. I would chalk a little bit of some of those numbers up to the Necaxa going down to 10 men so early. Because in the second half, we definitely like just kind of wore them out, like just kept the ball and were a little bit more patient. Didn't really force anything, like just kind of rode the game out compared to the first
cruise
half.
Control.
Yeah.
I agree. That was, I mean, we kind of expected that too, right? Going into the second half, we were 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little nervous going into the second half because that has been where we have like lost some of these games, or at least like kind of thrown them away. Like go back to the Cincinnati game or even the New York Red Bull game. Like those were games where we were up 2-0 at the half and then just let teams back into it.
Yeah.
Where like it's been like two totally different halves, right? Like of one of us dominating and then one of us just getting dominated. And this one, thankfully we kind of just kept doing what we were doing, and it clearly frustrated Necaxa and led to a red card in like the 52nd minute, like super early, and a very clear red.
It was the 49th minute actually.
49th, yeah. So I mean, pretty much at the start of that.
Nasty foul.
Yeah. I mean,
that guy went in like cleat or studs up into Swiderski's like hip, and good, good on Swiderski for selling that foul. He definitely threw in an extra roll.
Yeah. Yeah. But yes.
No, I agree.
So I think Necaxa going down to 10 men helped a lot, but again, like the way the team was performing, like I think it wouldn't have mattered. I think they would have seen this game out either way.
Yeah, that definitely didn't help Necaxa. Because the next goal we saw wasn't until the 87th minute, so about 40 minutes later. And then Necaxa scored 2 minutes later, which kind of caught us sleeping, but at the same time, it's like...
Yeah, the game was over.
Too little, too late. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, too little, too late. So now Necaxa's out, which was a big surprise.
Was there anything, like, surprising about their performance to you, or, like, any, like, stylistic stuff you noticed compared to, like, typical MLS opponents we've had?
I will say even though they missed, I saw two of their guys going for, I don't know if it was like just a stylish goal or, they both went for bicycle kicks.
That was sweet.
And they both missed.
Yeah, which was also sweet.
Yeah. I mean, they both missed like one after the other.
Yeah.
No, but besides that, it almost looked like the same type of play that I guess MLS teams players or teams play. The one that, like when I watched Miami and Cruz Azul, that one stood out to me. Like Cruz Azul was, they missed a lot of big chances early on where they could have had that game put away. So I thought that's like what we were going to see at this game. And I mean, they did score, but they were disallowed.
Yeah.
But I mean, the constant, you expect it from any team, but I was going to say the constant attack on them, but it was the same for us. Besides that, it was a very physical game. We saw a lot of yellows.
Yeah, that I wasn't too surprised by. Like, I assumed they were going to be pretty physical, and then, MLS is already pretty physical as well.
Yeah. When you get 2 early goals taken away from you, frustration sets in, right?
Yeah, it just feels like everything's against you. And then,
yeah,
we put in a second one pretty early, and then to finish out the first half with one as well. That's just like, like we said, like that guy that got the red, he clearly felt like this game was done with. And he wanted to get out. So I think Necaxa probably felt like that as well, that it was kind of over as soon as it began, really.
Yeah, I think so. It was just, but I'm glad Charlotte did it that way. Just kind of ended it early and made the game or just that match more entertaining.
Yeah, good score line too for your first win in a couple months, like 4-1.
Yeah.
That's nice to see.
Yeah, that I did not expect. I was expecting either just like a 0-0 or like a 2-0, somewhere in that range, but not the scoreline that we got.
Yeah. Was there any like lineup selection or anything like that kind of surprised you? Any names on the team sheet or subs that surprised you from this match? Probably nothing on the Necaxa side, right? We're super unfamiliar with them.
Yeah. I think it was like in the lull of the second half when I started looking into Necaxa players. Noticed they had a Colombian on there, which was cool. And I wanted to see if they were similar also as picking talent like the MLS. Like, we'll have a couple of foreign guys, but a majority of them are U.S. born. And it seemed to be that way for Necaxa as well. They had a majority Mexican, but there was a couple Uruguayan guys, one guy from Spain, and like I said before, one guy from Colombia. So pretty diverse, but majority Mexican players. Lineup for us, when I saw Bronico starting over Bender, last game Bender came in and saved us basically, in the Dallas game. I thought Bender was going to get the start, but he didn't. So that was a surprise. Besides that, not much.
Yeah,
I saw Mara too warming up, so that's good news.
Yeah, nice to see him being involved again a little bit, at least on the bench. I was gonna say no Bender starting was I wasn't surprised, but also kind of disappointed. Like you said, the guy just got you the tie that led to the PK win, and he even came on pretty late too. Trying to see when he came on, 80th minute. But it's hard to argue with the choice, right? Veronica repays Latanzio's faith in him with an early goal, and then honestly just a really good performance. I thought he moved the ball around well, defended well, and was kind of what I expected from him earlier in the season. Of the further up the field he is, I feel the better he is, and that definitely seemed to pay off this go around. So just getting harder and harder to get into that midfield three.
I know, that's what I was just getting ready to say. It was now it makes me question. I still think Bender could do a better job, but it definitely makes me question it with how well Bronico performed recently. But he does that every now and then. It's he'll sense that he's getting ready to get benched or something. He's okay, I gotta do something crazy this game, score a goal maybe.
Yeah.
So.
And then I think did he assist one also? Did he get an assist as well?
Who, Bronico?
Yeah.
If he did, I don't recall. I think Maram had a cross in. Could be wrong. I don't know about. I don't know how Arfield got his goal. I think that was a Swiderski thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, but I think Bronico was out by the time Ajiman got in.
Yeah, just one goal for Bronico. Okay. Yeah, and then Swiderski with the man of the match performance, 1 goal, 2 assists.
Yeah, that was nice.
Gonna get it done. So again, another just masterclass performance by Swiderski. Yes. What does this do to Copetti?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Right now he's not even on the team sheet for games. I think he's dealing with it.
Yeah,
yeah, he's injured. But I'm just wondering if he's just trying to ride this out until he gets I don't know if he's trying to get traded or what, but it certainly seems that way.
If I was him, I'd have my agent call the Saudi Arabia League and be like, what can I get?
Yeah. They're nothing over here. I don't think they would even take him. He hasn't been performing.
Just a quick tangent. You see that they're trying to build out their, I think, 3rd division, and they're offering, if you make it onto a team, they will provide housing and a car, and then I think they are paying $3,000 to $4,000 either a week or a month, something like that. It's a pretty decent deal if you want to move out to Saudi Arabia and play 3rd division football. But maybe he could do that. Rebuild his name.
But I haven't looked at how other teams do it, but that seems like a very standard package. Or maybe it's on the high end.
That's definitely on the high end, yeah.
Oh, is it?
For 3rd division, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, because I was trying to think, like, would...
Especially to provide a free house and car. Like, there's no way other teams are doing that.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right, because when I was watching the Wrexham show, basically, like, some of those guys are living together.
Yeah. gotta save money.
Yeah, and traveling, like, in public transportation type of deal.
Yeah.
Or like the team van. I don't know.
But to get back onto the subject, so, I mean, do you think we will offload Copetti and take a loss, or do you think, Latanzi's still going to try to figure out a way to make him work? Because, man, it just feels like...
figure it out.
It just feels like certain stuff is starting to click. Like that midfield three, if they keep up that performance week in and week out, I really like those three. Yeah, we just got the Belgium guy. That's going to be interesting to see how that slots in. But I would hate to force Copetti in at striker and move Swiderski back and try to fit him into that midfield three and jumble it up again. Like we've been asking for consistency in the lineup every week, and I feel like we're starting to get it.
Yeah, you're right.
Between the Dallas game and this game, and I bet we'll see a pretty similar lineup next game. So it's like, I just don't know what you do there, especially with, Swiderski's not only getting goals, but assists too, week in and week out, as where Copetti is like been dry on both accounts.
Yeah, it's almost expected to, like Swiderski, if he's in, you're expecting at least one goal out of him, sometimes more. But Copetti is like, maybe we'll get a goal.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him get any assist. I don't know if you count the one that Bender... Was it Bender? No, it was Gaines. Gaines had that goal, but it's like Copetti barely saved it. But I don't think they'll try to offload him either, because, you kind of... I would think that the staff for Charlotte FC kind of looks into the future, or has a plan B in case like Swiderski gets hurt or something like that, right? Where it's like, who would be the next guy up? I know you probably favor Osimhen, but I don't think he's quite there yet. Going to Osimhen, like I see glimpses of where he could be great, but he's just not quite there. Whereas Copetti, he's just a little bit better.
I would take Osimhen over Copetti right now. At least
I know
goals.
You would. I know you would. But
I mean, like if you look at the goal he scored,
very simple goal.
No, but I think Copetti probably dives in that situation. Tries to get a call instead.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen him dive in like situations where he could have got a goal.
Yeah,
and we have seen him miss wide open nets.
But
same for Osimhen. It's like, I don't know. I haven't seen what I want to see out of Osimhen, but Osimhen is still very young. There's still a lot of development that can come from him. Whereas Copetti, he's like reaching his peak, and then after that, it's who knows what there is after that. Just a slow downhill.
Also, I feel like,
but God forbid, like something happens to Swiderski, then I think most likely Copetti's gonna be the one to fill in.
Yeah. Back to Osimhen real quick though. I'll say he's done as much as Copetti with a lot less time. I think he's got the goal against Seattle. He's got this goal. He might have another goal in MLS.
I don't recall another goal from him.
But regardless, right? He got like the tying goal against Seattle. He's always come on pretty late, so it's like hard for him to make an impact, and it's his rookie season. But I mean, his output for Crown Legacy is really good. But I do want to, go back to what I've mentioned multiple times about like some of these attackers that play in like lower tier leagues that have like these crazy stats, and it doesn't always translate over to like the next level up, just because the defending, I think like attacking, like goes up a decent amount when you move up a league. Like obviously like next pro to MLS, but even like in England, like the Championship to Premier League, like that, the attacking talent there, like the top of the Championship is like at best probably going to be like mid-level attacking in Premier League, but the defending is where the real step up is, to me anyways. Like top defenders versus like your average defender, I feel like it's just such a big gap, and some of it is just like stuff that is intangible, like your athleticism, your speed, your physicality, and then even just like your mind too, like how well you can read the game, like how quickly you can see stuff develop before it happens. Like some of that stuff like is just never gonna develop for you, or it's gonna take a while. So I think that's why like the top of the heap is usually like so much better than that next level down. And I just think defenders are harder to come by. Everyone wants to be an attacker, so I feel like you have more attackers and whatnot, but I feel like really good defenders are like a dime a dozen, just don't come by quite as often.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat, yeah, you're definitely right as far as like the difference between the tiers there. And I know you favor Ajiman because he does so well in like Crown Legacy, and you've definitely been keeping up with them more than I have. But you could definitely switch or reverse those roles there and put like Capetti in there, and he'd probably stand out just like Ajiman does.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I think Ajiman's output for Crown Legacy has to be taken like with a grain of salt, because
exactly. It's like, I mean, you could put Capetti in there and he could probably do the same as Ajiman has done or more.
Mm-hmm.
But where it counts is with Charlotte FC and the MLS, and for me, he's not fully there yet. I think he does have talent there. It just has to be kind of nourished and really like it's going to be a little while. I don't expect much from him this season or next. Maybe next season, but not right now. Not the way he's been.
Yeah. So just a quick stat update for what we were talking about. Capetti's got 4 goals in 16 games, while Aljamain has 1 in 8. But by the minutes, it's quite a bit less. Karol Swiderski leads with 7 goals in 20 games. So
yeah, I think that's a little bit less for him than last year. I could be wrong. I feel like he scored a lot more last year, but
I think last year he ended with 10. So he's on pace to break it, I think.
Yeah.
Vargas with leading the assists with Lindsay, both tied with 5.
I would say Swiderski probably would have had more goals had we not stuck with Capetti up top for so long.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. So besides, the Ajiman goal, Arfield has his official goal now with MLS. Another good goal.
League Cup, not MLS.
True, yeah, but I guess one that counts for the team.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see him because, last game he had one, but it was disallowed due to a kind of a silly rule, which kind of worked in our favor.
Yeah, I was going to say, not so silly now.
Yeah. But I'm glad that he's still, like, performing with, what is this, his, like, 4th or 5th game? Like, full game?
Something like
maybe
that.
Maybe his 4th. I don't think it's that much. I'm hoping that Arfield sticks around for like 2 or 3 seasons, maybe more. Because I see a lot of talent out of him.
Especially that like first touch shot from like outside the box, like his willingness to just kind of go for it. Like that kind of killer instinct, or like just the nose for goal. Like that's definitely a different trait that he brings that is maybe missing in the team.
I was gonna say, I think if I'm remembering it right, Swiderski passes him the ball, he settles it and then shoots. It was like a one touch and then second touch is the shot, and he puts it in the back of the net.
No, it was one time First touch.
Oh, was a one-time?
One-timer.
Did
Did one time for the one time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of somebody else then.
Bronico's goal was like that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's
he
what it
settles it
was.
and then chips it over the keeper.
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, like, you know, what he's doing now with Arfield is what I should say. What Arfield is doing now with Charlotte is, like, kind of what we saw on his highlight package.
Yeah.
What he was doing there. So I'm glad to see that, like, he's actually kind of delivering that, whereas, like, some of these other guys what we saw in their highlight package, I haven't really seen glimpses of. Mostly going towards, like, Yazviak. His highlight package looked way better than how he performed last season and a little bit this season, but this season he's playing a different role, but I thought he was going to be more of a goal scorer. Not that he hasn't scored goals, but I expected a little more, but Arfield seems to be on pace.
Yeah. I'd say for Yazvik, this season has definitely been a transformation. Like, this game was really good. Just getting into good spots, like finding good passes, not forcing anything. Hopefully he can just stay healthy. I feel like that was his issue this season, has been just staying healthy and, like, getting consistent minutes in. So hopefully that like continues where he can, like, stay healthy and stay on the field, because he is, like, each time he plays, he just gets a little bit better. And I think he was definitely one of the, like, key players to this performance. I mean, assisted
him
Swiderski's
and
goal.
Swiderski, like, those two go hand in hand, as we say, the Polish pistols. But
yeah, not only that too, but I felt like there were times where, like, maybe earlier in the season or definitely last season, like, he would get caught out wide and just, like, force a cross, where this time, like, him, Westwood, Lindsay, and, like, Arfield were, like, combining to get the ball out of that side and moving it to the other side, like, through the ground, or moving it, like, across the face of goal, or making runs into the box for each other. Like, so just like you said, like, building that team chemistry, basically.
yeah,
I think he's been good about that.
Yeah, going to what you said, it was like the consistency in the lineup, right?
Yeah.
And those are the guys that are kind of linking up a lot better. Hopefully we see the same type of play style in once the League Cup is over.
Yes, yeah, hopefully. Transitioning into this coming up Thursday's game against Cruz Azul. Speaking of lineup, is there any changes you want to see, or do you expect the same 11 guys to come out there, or are there any changes you think Lattanzio is going to make? So not necessarily that you want to see, but you think, like, Lattanzio will probably do this.
Yeah, and I would most likely predict that Jones goes in for what's his name?
Privet.
Privet, yeah, Privet is probably gonna get put on the bench, and Jones will take his spot now that Jones is kind of healthy. And most likely the rest of it will stay the same. I don't think there was any injuries this past game that guys are gonna miss the Cruz Azul game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably the only change I would expect.
Is there any you want to see? Like, do you think? Because you watched the Cruz Azul game, is there any player you think that, like, he could play well against them, or this guy, could make the difference against their play style, anything like that?
I watched a short amount of that Cruz Azul game, and they, I don't know, their pace of play seemed a lot quicker than ours. Where we might get beat a lot is on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of makes me, yeah. But I was gonna say the one that would more worry me would be like Byrne or even Lindsay. They might go down those ways, and those guys get outmatched.
Yeah.
But I don't know who we have to, like, replace them. They're probably the top guys that we have right now.
Yeah, the only name that would come out to mind is Awful.
Yeah, Awful would probably be able to keep up and control that left side, or Mora. I'm not sure what the deal is with Mora. I mean, we saw him warming up, but he didn't have any minutes.
Yeah, I think it's probably a style like system thing.
Yeah.
Maybe Copetti just doesn't like see him fitting into what he wants for that outside back position.
Yeah. I think if we just keep the same style of play, whereas the short passing and then the heavy press, especially from the back line, we could catch some guys on the offside and then counteract or counterattack, I should say, with a long ball somewhere down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the short pass is really going to help us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to agree with your take on Privet, although I think that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Because, again, I thought he stepped up really well and played the position very well. So it'll be interesting to see how Jones does with it, because I don't think Jones has played that role quite as well this season, but I think he has played hit that defensive center mid position very well. He's been one of the top performers on the team, so I think it makes sense to get him back in the lineup. But I think the only one I would want to see is maybe Vargas over Moram. Just feel like he I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, because Moram didn't have that great of a game.
Yeah, just the giving the ball away is starting to pop up like more and more, like really bad giveaways.
Yeah.
And then just not finding certain guys. It just seems like he should be making some really easy passes for quick counterattacks or quick transitions, and it just sometimes just I don't know, just either gives it right to the other team or doesn't hit it hard enough. It gets a little bit sloppy with it sometimes. So if it's going to be a more quick-paced game, I'd rather see Vargas out there.
Yeah, I agree. I'd rather see Vargas as well.
Yeah. Any score predictions? You think this goes to PKs or does it finish in regulation?
Well, this one, if it goes to PKs, I don't think it'll go to PKs, to be honest. I think it's probably going to be a 3-2. We'll let our 2 in, but we got to get to 3. I think we can get to 3.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to say 3-2.
Yeah, that seems like a good score line. I'll take that one as well. Yeah, I got to bake in those 2 goals that we give up.
Yeah. Yeah, you know they're going to get 2.
Yeah, that's like insurance.
It's not good.
Any final takeaways or anything like that?
No, I think we pretty much covered it all. I don't know what else.
Perfect.
I mean, even Kalina had a pretty good game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I felt like everyone played really well. Hopefully that continues the rest of the season of just everyone clicking. But we'll see. We'll see real soon. A couple of days, 4 days. August 3rd will be when we play Cruz Azul in the round of 32.
What's the time on that? Do we even know?
Let me check. I have the
Probably going to be like 9:30, I bet.
I hope not. It says time TBD, but with it being in Dallas, yeah, it'll probably be I think the last time was 9 o'clock, right? So probably around that time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough one to watch. But
yeah.
We will try.
Well, hopefully Charlotte makes it through and then Houston makes it through so we can play each other.
Yeah, that'd be good. I wonder, well, that we probably won't be able to host either because that's probably going to fall right in line with that Beyonce concert. So.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that, by the way? I don't even remember.
Just something about scheduling conflicts and Beyonce and Illuminati, all that stuff.
Yeah, you guys get it. If you go to the concert, make sure you wear a Charlotte FC jersey.
Yeah. Wear the Latanzio Ash jersey.
Yeah. All right. Well, that covers everything on this episode. as always, if you guys enjoy it, please share with a friend. That's going to help us grow the episode. We're going to need it. We've got some competition coming up soon from Apple themselves. Sons of Guns stole our name and are starting their own podcast. How dare they? But again, yeah, so share it with a friend. Help us grow that way. Also, leave a review so we can get onto their algorithm and shoot up the charts. It'd be nice to be the #1 offside podcast besides on their own platform. Probably won't happen, but it's cool to dream. And then as always, if you want to interact with us during the matches, we are on Twitter and Instagram at offsides_CLTFC. And then we are also on YouTube posting all of our episodes there at Offsides Podcast. And again, if you guys are interested, maybe we can do a watch along live on YouTube sometime in the future. But until then, we will catch you guys next week after we move on to the round of 16. Bye.
Wow, wow, wow. You got to love that.